You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Yo, we are back in the building. We are back in the building to talk about Married to Medicine. The season finale was last night, and we have so much to discuss. So as soon as you jump into this room, let us know where you are watching from. And of course, make sure you tap that like button on the way in, smack it up, flip it, rub it all the way down. Do all the things. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. While we got this good light right here, this good like natural light right here. Okay. Who we got in the building? We got Orlando, East Tennessee, Aurora, Illinois, Atlanta. We got Portland, Oregon, Davenport. What's going on? What go on? Detroit, Ohio's in the building. I see you, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Come on, Harlem. Hey, the Chi is in the building, Texas. Come on, Chi-Town, Niagara Falls, Hattiesburg, DC, baby, Augusta, New Jersey. I see you. I see y'all. Phoenix, Arizona, Memphis in the building, Columbus, Georgia, Texas, Pinky, Cleveland. Okay. Pinky from Cleveland, Ohio. I see you. Savannah, Jordan. Stone Mountain, Nashville. I see you. Houston, McDonough, Georgia. Down there with Nana's Chicken and Waffles, I see you. What's going on, Lisa? Hey, how you doing, Marsha? Arlington, Virginia in the building. Hey, let's hit the like button. Thank you, Nadia. I appreciate you. LC Charm, Southern New Jersey. Atlanta, Georgia in the biz. Naive Fuquay Arena. Hey, come on now. Did I pronounce that right? All right, so listen, we got our people in the building. Let's get into the tea of it all, like the sweet tea, the sour tea, the good tea, the not so good tea. I'm gonna read you guys the episode description, and it's episode 15 of season 11. It says Duchess Toya and her royal court is the title. Toya and Eugene's grand ball, the Georgiaton, finally arrives. Now this is a play on Bridgerton. Sweet Tea and Dr. G, Quad, and King are not thrilled by the idea of being in the same space. The rest of the group feels conflicted about who they should support. You know, this episode in general left me feeling like I love this show. I love this cast. I think that these are amazing medical professionals, but they are a horrible group of friends. Okay? They are a horrible. This is not the group of friends you want. I mean, as much as they try to tell each other that this is a great group of friends, you know, Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone, this is a great group of friends. No, y'all are not. Okay. This is a horrible group of friends. Horrible. Okay. I just got to say it like that. You know, I just got to say it. And there we have it. Now we've said it. Okay, fine. Now that we got that out of the air. Okay, do I think that they need a pause? I think that they need a resetting, which does not necessarily equate to a pause, but they do need to reset the table, so to speak, in order to make this interesting and make this work for not only the cast, but also the audience. We are tired of seeing the same old situation, same old stories back again. You know, we tired of seeing it. We are tired. We are weary. But just when you think that things couldn't get any more dreadful with this friendship group, we have some new things to discuss. For instance, Toya on Watch What Happens Live. Last night, I was watching everything last night, okay? I watched Atlanta. I watched Married to Medicine. I watched Watch What Happens Live. I watched Sweet T's comment Q&A. I was watching everything because I felt like I needed to get all the information, and I did. And then some. Now, you know, Toya has been on the press tour, and that, of course, culminated in the Watch What Happens Live of it all, as does, it seems, most of the press that goes along with Housewives and Married to Medicine, right? They typically do a week in New York or weekend in New York or some such, and then they end with Watch What Happens Live. They may go on to do other things. Who knows? This was Toya and Shamia's turn, right? So Toya, in the episode, there is a reference to Curtis's hand being placed on Dr. Heavenly's waist, okay? Why is this even a factor? We'll talk about it as we get further into the episode, but just as a comment, you know, with the hand being on the waist of it all, Toya said this, okay? Let's hear it.
Pamphlet made it seem that Curtis had his hand on Heavenly's waist in that picture.
So they flashed this photo during the episode. That's number one. Let me let you know that.
I think that I love you, Jackie. I think,
and you know, anytime somebody says, "Well, I love you," but they about to go in, I do it. I do it too.
I think that Curtis has his hands on a couple of different waists on our show before. Me being one of those individuals, and
in case you forgot, there was an instance where Curtis did wrap his hands around Toya's waist and sit her bosom in his lap, okay? In the lap of luxury. He pulled her down, but we'll discuss it in just a second. But that's just a little throwback moment so that you guys remember. If you're a Married to Medicine OG, then you know.
And so I think he should keep his hand in his pocket.
Well, I know who not to sit by.
Okay, so when I saw this last night, I was like, this was like part of the headline for me, because I was like, I mean, oh, Curtis. Oh, Curtis. Oh, Curtis. This was the photo that was referenced. As you can see, Curtis's hand is on the waist meat, okay, on the waist of it all, right? Now, I don't know that I would have thought anything of it if I seen this photo, but it was also this clip that's attached to it on the Jasmine brand. I think it's also on the Bravo Shade Room as well.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Try hard, Toya. Come on, baby. See what I'm saying?
Okay, so now let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Why?
He failed the test.
Ooh, pull her on down. You see, Jackie is very much given like, who cares?
He's failing.
Quad.
DJ, he two-handed.
I know. I took it.
Do y'all remember this? If you are an OG, then you will remember this. What's going on, South Africa? We'll be there in November. Okay.
As a joke.
No, I don't like this.
She's still sitting there, though.
My issue is it a good joke for Curtis?
You know, because Curtis had the thing that happened with him and Dr. Jackie, if y'all remember that season, right?
Right now.
No.
No.
So you see, she got to be pulled up out of the lap. The lap of luxury, okay? The lap of luxury. Shout out to House of Aaron.
Come on, get your
Dr. Heavenly is like, no, 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 no.
You didn't put your big ass on Curtis' lap. You know he got problems with ass.
Okay. So there is that bit of information that's floating around. What do you guys make of this? I mean, I don't know. Will Dr. Jackie be offended? Personally, if I were her, I would be, because it's something that's being re-brought up into the group. You know what I'm saying? It's being brought up all over again, and in a messy way. You know what I'm saying? In a messy way. So, but Toya has been delivering the mess all week, like the stork is delivering babies. Okay. She has. So Toya has been high-stepping it all weekend long. Do you think Dr. Jackie should be upset by this? Do you think she will have anything to say? I mean, for as crazy as they have gone off on Sweet Tea, then I really do feel like Dr. Jackie, I mean, surely she's going to rip Toya a new one. Maybe. Maybe not. Because Dr. Heavenly did tell us that Sweet Tea was just a pawn. She was just a pawn in the game of Married to Medicine. Dun, 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 dun. So, now that we know. Ooh, shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room. Man, oh man, oh man. But this is why I feel that a part of the cast needs to stay exactly the same. Y'all brought this into your lives. Y'all brought them into the show. Now you got to live with it, whether you like it or not. But until then, this is just a horrible group of friends. Why? Let's talk about it. So in this episode of the finale, you know, Toya is having her 16th wedding anniversary. It is the Georgia Ave ball. And who's all invited? Who all gonna be there? You might be asking yourself, it's a cast event. It's a cast event. So you would think everybody's invited. Well, not so fast, because someone in the background is pulling the strings, telling when people when to drink, when to eat, when to think, as Nene says. But no, on a serious note, I want to know the logistics of the finale. Is it that HR, Human Resources, Bravo Command Center, whoever, the production company, is it their mandate that as a result of the charges being allegedly pressed, because when I watched Sweet Tea's video, she says that the charges were never pressed. Someone did indeed, though, alert the HR folk, but that no charges were actually pressed. If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The theme was dope. I loved the theme. I loved the theme. Toya can throw a party. Toya can throw an event. So was it that in an effort to not have anybody come into contact with each other, i.e. Quad and King and Dr. G and Sweet Tea, in the episode, it makes it seem as though Sweet Tea and Dr. G have not responded to Toya's invite to her event. Thus, Toya prioritizing Quad and King, who did RSVP to the event so that they can make it for the 9 p.m. hour until whenever the event ends, right? So what happens is in the episode, you will see Sweet Tea and Dr. G debating about whether they should go to the event. Toya is hopeful that they'll attend, but doesn't know. But she does know the Lunsfords RSVP'd. Yes, indeed. Yes, God. Yes. The king and his queen, they have RSVP'd. So Toya is just, I don't know. But what Toya does know is that there will be only, if they do show up, 1 hour for Sweet Tea and Dr. G to mingle with the guests, okay, mingle with their group of friends that wholeheartedly invited them into this circle as pawns, as the pawns that they are, right? Okay. You cannot make this up. Now, Dr. G and Sweet Tea will not even actually be allowed in the actual event. They are only allowed in the foyer of the event, where the bar outside is. You know how you have like an event where you have like a big grand ballroom, and then you have the foyer typically where you're probably hanging up your coats, or where you're handing the people your coats, where you might be getting a little drink outside of the main event. That's where they are able to come into. They're not actually allowed to come into the actual event. No. So that's why I said, whose idea was this? Because when I watched Sweet Tea's Q&A video about the episode, she says that Toya actually uninvited her to the event after inviting her with some level of messy like pamphlet. I guess it was. So in the episode, you will see Sweet Tea brings a Lady Whistle Down-esque, newspaper article that no one is supposed to know who wrote it. Well, she doesn't bring it. I guess somebody brought it for her in the attempt to make it seem mysterious. But apparently, what we didn't see, according to Sweet Tea, was that Toya had already done something similar to that, delivered it to her at the other event that they had in a previous episode, then uninvited her. So when Toya is telling us during the episode that she doesn't know whether or not Sweet Tea or Dr. G are actually coming, I'm kind of confused. I'm like, who do I believe? Sweet Tea says you uninvited her. And then production told them to actually go. So that's why I'm curious, who actually is making up the rules? Who is making, is it HR? Is it the production company? Is it Toya? Who is the puppet master? Who is it? Who? Who? Because it's nonsensical to me. In the episode, you're acting like, oh my God, I don't know, are they coming or not? Girl, if you already uninvited them, you know where they stand. You don't want them to be there. But is that because of production or is that because of HR? Then if Sweet Tea is saying, well, she uninvited us, production is like, well, I don't know why, because this is the finale, y'all got to be there. So now they got to go. But surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
You can't even get in the club. You got to stand outside. You can't get in VIP. No, sorry. You got to go. Okay. Our guests of honor are coming at 9 and you must leave. You must leave my anniversary party. You got to go. Toodaloo. Toodles. Skedaddle. Sayonara, suckers. Slim says, I was at the finale party. Give us the tea, Slim. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. So, again, I say this friend group is just, I don't know if you want to be in this friend group. So then we learn during the event, well, a couple of things happened during the event. The guys talked to Dr. G, who is actually willing to let things go with King. He is open to having a conversation with King so that they can hopefully squash it. King is very much like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I will say this, though. Let me say this. The thing with King and Dr. G is they both have to own something in this situation. Dr. G should have never said, yeah, I told her she talked too much. Had he left that out, I mean, we could have skated through all this and they would have had to address it at the reunion. And then King, the moment you rip off your shirt and go running at somebody, it's like both of y'all in the wrong, and both of y'all need to apologize to each other and the cast, to be honest with you. Perfectly honest. Because I'm not, I don't know anybody that's ripping off their shirt and running up if they're not about to swing about a swing. So, whether he was or he wasn't, everybody was heated in the moment, right? So I think cooler heads can prevail in this situation. They can both have a conversation. They can probably just move on. I mean, I think that the guys don't want them to have that level of smoke. And I think that it could also be a situation where, listen, like I said earlier, if Dr. G felt like his life was truly in danger, I think that's one thing. If you just felt disrespected, I feel like that's something that you can easily get over. But that's where I feel, how I feel. And that's really for the good of the group for me. And sometimes you got to look at the situation holistically. And can they talk about it? Because to a certain degree, no physical hands were put on each other from what we understand. Then can they move beyond this point? Because the ladies charge at each other all the time. If you let Toya tell it like she said on Watch What Happens Live, Sweet Tea is a wild, vicious animal, okay, who is running around putting her paws on everybody. That girl is on the loose. Watch out for Sweet Tea. The wild one is coming out to get you. That little wild cat, Sweet Tea. Oh, she is so wild and vicious. She's so wild. She put her hands on Toya. Apparently, she's touching all of them. Oh no. Toya, you might want to get a restraining order or something. It sounds real bad. It sounds real bad. It sounds so bad. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. God, goodness. That Sweet Tea is on the loose. Woo! Somebody, I am scared. I'm scared for my own life. I don't know. I had interviewed her, and I thought for a minute, I thought she was gonna come through the screen and get me. The way Toya talked. I'm joking. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, Toya, now I done seen you in action. So if that girl had put her hands on you, you mean to tell me that you wouldn't have went ham and mushed her in the face like you did Audra? I mean, I don't know. Audra rolled up in your face. She didn't even get a chance to put a hand on you before you was blessing her up in the forehead. So I don't know. I don't know. Listen, Toya, to her credit, okay? To Toya's credit, Toya has turned up the dial on the drama. Toya has turned up the dial on the drama in these past couple of episodes. She sat back most of the season, but Toya is on the loose right now. And I don't like all of the things that she's doing, but she worth keeping. She worth keeping. Yeah, she worth keeping. Mm-hmm. I can see we could actually move Toya to Housewives, to be honest with you. But that's another discussion for another day. As far as you have me cracking up, I'm happy I caught a live quad started this mess with her mouth. Thank you for the super chat. And here's the thing, I like this cast. I really do. So this is, when I say these things, like, this comes from a genuine enjoyment of what they bring. I've been recapping this show since my days at AfterBuzz TV back in like 2016. So I've been rolling in the deep with this show for a very long time. So when I say these things to y'all, please understand that I, like many of you, am a long time fan. I don't know why people hate Quad. I really don't. I mean, in terms of the show, like viewers of the show, do I think that Quad can, if somebody hurts her, she can really, that's gonna last a long time. Okay, I do think that. And she, everybody has their flaws on the show, but she's entertaining to me. She's funny to me. But I also enjoy Sweet Tea on the show. I enjoy what Sweet Tea brings. It's refreshing to see someone who does not know the trappings of reality TV, and you see them continuously stepping in the muck and the mire and the traps that are laid for her. And she's reacting. She is reacting. And that's what we want to see on these shows. Do I think that there's a little bit of overproducing on the cast at times? I do. And I think that's where the issues lie. One, we don't see all of the action, and we can't because we only have 40 minutes and 15 episodes. So realistically, we can't see everything. So all these instances where Toya is saying Sweet Tea has run through the scene like a Tasmanian devil, I am sure. If she says it, maybe it exists somewhere. We just ain't seen it. Okay. But if I found out that I was a pawn in the grand scheme that Todd set up, I might be running through the scene like a Tasmanian devil too. Quiet is kept. But I don't, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's hard for me to picture Sweet Tea shoving Toya and Toya not laying a hand. It's hard for me to see it. It's just hard. I'm sorry, Toya. It's just hard. We have seen in the action. So, okay. The other thing that happens in this episode is that we learn that Phaedra was indeed invited to this event. This is how Phaedra makes her 15 episodes for the season, in flashbacks. Okay? She didn't have to stick around. All we needed was the flashbacks. And now Phaedra has been paid for the season, I'm sure. She's in all 15 episodes. And they got a cartoon caricature face of her at the reunion. Hopefully she charged for that too. Anyway, Do you think Karen got paid for the reunion now that they had her photo and they put that visual that they showed those videos of her at the reunion? That could have been a way for Karen to get paid for that reunion. Anyway, so the other thing that we learned is that she was invited by, Sweet Tea, Dr. Contessa, Toya, as well as Dr. Simone. And that's when we find out she was not coming. And I'm like, I don't know why y'all thought she was coming. The minute she told y'all that she did not want to be friends with y'all no more, then, that was it. That was that. It's so funny. Every season of a show, somebody will say, "You are so biased." And my God, it hurts my feelings. But here's the thing. Why is it that I, as a creator, cannot like every cast member? I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have a dog in this fight. But I don't like watching everybody gang up on one person. And if you do, then that's cool. I just don't enjoy it. And that's that. That's it. And it's so funny that I just morphed into the Sweet Tea Stan account when I've been doing this since 2016. Meanwhile, hey, Benita, how you doing? How you doing? Meanwhile, also, you don't have to watch. Okay. The other thing that we learned is when Quad and King arrive, they have a whole processional into the Bridgerton themed party. It looks extravagant. I love the costumes. I love all of that. I love a theme in general. So I love that everybody got into the theme for the most part. But what we do see is there is a moment where all of the ladies converge, right? And it's and there was a moment earlier that Sweet Tea brought out, they had the pamphlet, the sort of lady whistle down pamphlet. I didn't really think that moment worked well on camera because if they didn't really give it the attention that it maybe needed, or it just didn't play out very well for me as a viewer. But that is where the Dr. Curtis putting his hands on Dr. Heavenly's waist, that's where that started from. So it did bleed over into the Watch What Happens Live of it all with Toya commenting on that situation. Now, taking things back to where we were. When Quad is addressing the ladies, not really, she doesn't really address the ladies. I think Toya really addresses her. Toya is like, basically, is there a space? Because what we have found out is Dr. G is willing to have a conversation with King. Is there a space where you and King can coexist with Dr. G and Sweet Tea? Quad emphatically says no. She says absolutely not. Now, that is Quad's choice at the end of the day. Now, the group, I'm sure, wants to try to get everybody together, but I also feel like the group could just do with or without Greg and Sweet Tea at this point. That's how I feel. Even Dr. Mimi, who came in as a friend of Sweet Tea, basically when Sweet Tea walked in the room said, okay, here comes the mess. Maybe that was actually a response to the lady whistle down style pamphlet that was handed out. I don't really know. All I know is that Quad don't want nothing to do with the group, or not really the group. She doesn't really want anything to do with Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And again, that is her ex-husband. I understand that. It makes sense to me why she would not. It makes sense. I can't really argue with that. But neither can the group. So what she tells the group is, If you need to choose, then don't choose me. She says, do not choose me. There you, well, she said that to Toya. I can't say she said it to the group because she was speaking to Toya. And that really goes nowhere because at that point, Dr. Simone says, well, we're looking at a fractured group again. So we're in a situation where the group stayed fractured. Listen, the group is always going to be fractured. We already know that. We're watching a reality TV show. If the group ain't fractured, what are we watching? But Toya specifically states to Quad, we have been down this road before. This is why we have a hard time keeping people. But to that I say, this is a situation that y'all opened up to yourselves because you invited the new people in. You invited them in because you were actually escorting her out, if you don't remember. So now we're in a situation. Now we got a kerfuffle going on. What do? Who is the most expendable people here? That's what I'm sure the cast is asking themselves at this point. Well, it would seem as though Sweet Tea and Dr. G are the most expendable because they are the newest. And Quad has been around the group the longest. Dr. G was not around for a good period of time. So I'm for sure the cast is looking like, well, we'll just keep quiet because we know her, we're familiar with her, she's been here all this time, we're loyal to her. Until they're not. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let me say this also too. Can y'all normalize being like recapping a show or commentating on a show and not trying to tell each other or the commentator how they feel? Like, you can't tell me how I feel. That ain't it. Who does that? Because I don't have an opinion that you agree with. That's not why we have this channel. We have this channel so we can talk about it, and that be that. Talk about the show. Listen, and I don't mind. Listen, I love passion. Be passionate about it. Yes, Lord. Yes, be passionate, please. Love it with everything in you, but also have a realistic perspective that everybody's not going to agree with you, and that's okay. That is okay. This is not life or death. We are not having brain surgery. There is no real consequence for what we're talking about. This is for fun. Can you remember that? Like, this is, if you're not having fun, that is a sure sign that you probably need to close the laptop a la Nene Leakes at the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion and walk away. Just close the laptop and say, you know what? This is getting to me. I need a vacation. It is disturbing my peace. And just walk away. Yeah, just take a break. You know, go cook some dinner, have some lunch, have a cocktail if you will. You know what I'm saying? But have fun with it. Yeah, we get it rowdy, but you know, like, just remember to come back down to earth. It ain't that serious. Whew. Ironically, brain surgery. We talking about Married to Medicine. Oh God. Yes, go do some Reiki with Phaedra. Observe, but don't absorb. So if you come here and you all riled up, you biased, why are you that affected? This is fun. This is fun. My word. My word. Yeah, let's get you some corned beef and cabbage, baby. Breathe. But yeah, so that was the episode of Married to Medicine. Again, I was able to watch What Happens Live. I watched Sweet Tea's recap. If I get a chance, I will try to watch. I'm not sure if Dr. Heavenly has done her live yet. I need to tap into that whenever it happens. So I need to get plugged into that. I thought she typically does it at 7 p.m. on Mondays, but I could be wrong. So yes, tune into all of the things. All right. That way you can get all of the tea and then you can have as much fun as you like. But again, remember, when it stops being fun, take yourself out and just breathe. Okay. With that being said, y'all subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you like reality TV related content. We had about 1,000 or so people in the room at one point in time, so I need to see 1,000 likes if possible. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys click down into the description. You guys will see ebooks. You got trips coming up. I got one-on-one sessions that I'm doing for people who are interested in like doing YouTube, writing books, whatever the case may be. All of those things. We got Cape Town coming up in November. I'm working on a Costa Rica writing retreat that's coming up in, I think, October. And I'm looking at Antarctica for next fall. So lots of travel coming up as well. So make sure you guys tap into that. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.